So, Scott, does NFL have a preseason problem?
Yes.
Big problem. Major problem. Anyways, play the music. What's up, guys? This is Pigskin Dynasty, your podcast for all things Dynasty Fantasy Football with a sprinkle of sports talk. You know who I am. I'm the host with the most. Broadcasting on this show, coast to coast, Matt Phillips. Alongside me is the man that wore the Julio Jones jersey like twice in a row now.
No.
I feel like you did.
Julio Jones has not made an appearance on this show with me.
Oh, me, I forgot.
He stole the Julio Jones jersey when the Fantasy Ogre came on. I was on vacation in Michigan. So I still have my run of different jerseys every week.
He's actually running very thin.
I didn't participate in his...
He's running very thin, though.
I know. I got next week, we'll wear the A-Rob, the Allen Robinson Bears jersey. After that, I'm pulling out a Brock Osweiler Broncos jersey, Ed McCaffrey Broncos jersey, David Garrard Jaguar jersey.
All right.
I got time.
Old school.
There are going to be some weird, ugly jerseys in there, but I got probably 2 more months I can go.
I'm talking with Scott, of course. Scott Euler. How you doing, Scott?
Doing good, and it's the Fantasy Leprechaun to you.
Fantasy Leprechaun, right?
That's right.
Right. I know that name, that nickname, I thought. Oh, I mean, you gonna trademark that or something? Okay, well. Scott, busy week this week.
Yeah.
Busy week. A lot of things to go over. First of all, I just want to say, a lot of crazy weekend on this preseason. A lot of big news. A lot of, it's good to see football back too, but, Scott, I said this before the show. Is there a preseason problem for the NFL?
Yes, there's a preseason problem for the NFL. What do you think the problem is for preseason?
I think people get injured too much, but...
that ain't the problem. The problem is they got 4 freaking preseason games. That's the problem.
Here's what I think they should do. I understand the basis of the preseason is to, because that's the first time they can really hit each other. You know, they really don't have any They need to bring back practices where you can hit each other so you get that game moment in, and then maybe put down to 2 preseason games. But
they do have practices where they hit each other.
It's limited. It's limited.
A lot of teams match up and they have practices where they practice with another team. They're hitting each other in those. They're hitting each other in their own practices.
I don't know. It's crazy. All these people getting injured and everything.
It happens every year.
Yeah. Talk about that
But
later.
this is only 1 week. We got 3 more weeks of these injuries coming through. And believe me, Derrius Guice is still not the biggest name to go down.
Anyways, by the way, we're on Spotify, by the way, guys. Spotify, if you guys choose to follow us, there's another media outlet you guys should follow us on. Waiting approval for Google Play. We should be up there shortly. Other than that, Scott, let's talk up the show.
Before we get into things, your dad wants to know why I always have a fresh jersey on, and you come in looking like a bum every week.
I don't think I look like a bum. I have nice hair. Scott also 5'2", Dad. Okay, like a Oompa Loompa. It's like, first of all, this is misleading because when I came here, he looked like crap. Okay, all right. He's brushing his teeth. His hair's all over the place. So this facade right here is not the true Scott. All right. Am I right?
But you know what? I present myself for this show.
I don't. Okay. All right. Thanks, Dad. Anyways. All right, Scott. What's the first thing you want to talk about?
Well, I think the biggest news of the week, the first thing to dive into is the Derrius Guice injury.
Derrius Guice.
Yep. Thursday night playing against the Patriots. He went down.
I told you.
Hurt his knee.
Texted you.
Yep, you texted me. And then finally I get the update on NFL. You know, I was watching the game. The Browns.
Original thought was... he was all fine, but I've seen ACL injuries before, numerous players, and they just walk off laughing. Next thing you know, MRI shows tear ACL, and he's done.
Yep. They believed it was an MCL to begin with. He said he was all right in the locker room. There's a video of him. People asked how the knee was. He goes, "Nah, we're okay. I'm all right." And
he got inflamed on the plane.
Yep. And then they go to the MRI. The MRI shows torn ACL. So obviously Derrius Guice is done for the season. That begs the question, who steps in? You have Rob Kelly, you have Samaje Perine, Chris Thompson, the pass catching back, and multiple free agents that could land there. What do you think is the most likely outcome?
Anyways,
dang it,
that was the cat. Okay, Jay Gruden just recently reported that they don't plan on getting any veterans back. If that's true, I don't know. I honestly think that he said that they had backs that did the job last year, which, you can debate that all you want. honestly, in my first opinion, I think Samaje Perine is probably going to be the early down back with Chris Thompson having an increased value in carries and third down back. Rob Kelly didn't really look that good to me. Neither did Perine, but
Rob Kelly's never looked good.
Yeah. Apparently he dropped a lot of weight, though, so we'll see how it goes. For right now, I think Samaje Perine gets the boost. I think he'll probably get the start, but Kabri Bibbs had a really good showing last year, too, so we'll see how that goes. But to my opinion, I'm putting Perine as
the lead back?
Lead back. Oh, the
power back?
The first,
or
second down back.
Okay.
Like, he's like the fantasy back I want to own if I had to own a fantasy back in the Redskins would be Chris Thompson.
Absolutely.
But if I had to choose someone to fill in the the first early down work that has a little bit more upside, I'll go with Samaje Perine. But that's my opinion. What do you think, Sam?
No, I agree. Samaje Perine is the most attractive name, beneficiary from this outcome. Chris Thompson is going to be the number one fantasy back. He's the pass-catching guy.
But also, he's still healing, so he may not be available week one. If he's not available week one, Samaje Perine will have a big boost.
Yep.
So
plus, they said they're not going to bring a free agent in, but people say that all the time. And then
Adrian Peterson still is out there.
Jamal
Charles, DeMarco Murray. There's
several names. And
I got to put my money on it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think Jamal Charles would be really awesome.
I was actually thinking about picking him up, but that's what I don't want to waste our spot. But anyways, if I put my money, I'll probably be Adrian Peterson because, as Scott said previous weeks, that he had an interview with. He didn't have any, but
DeMarco Murray did.
DeMarco Murray had an interview, and he just sounded like a guy that was done playing football. So,
Yep.
Adrian Peterson is probably the one that they do go, but maybe they may try.
The one thing for DeMarco Murray is if he does play for the Redskins, that's 2 games a year against the
Cowboys.
Eagles, 2 games a year against the Cowboys.
That could be. And also, you got to point out that maybe they try to make a trade. Maybe they try to get Mark Ingram. Maybe they try to get some trade value out of Mark Ingram. He's still suspended 4 games, but what do you think about that?
I don't see the Saints entertaining that too much. Also, he's a free agent after this season, so you have that to go for. I'm sorry, guys. Let me get my cat out of here.
Technical difficulties. That's awesome. Okay. It's embarrassing. I'm by myself. Okay. Cat's right here, Scott.
Did you watch any? Go ahead and break down the Giants-Browns game, if you would.
Giants-Browns game. Okay. That's probably the biggest preseason game, pitting the first overall pick against the second overall pick. So let's start with Saquon, or Saquads. Saquads was what we expected. He first run.
That's the culprit.
You don't even see him on the camera. Oh, you do. It's fake. So Saquads killed it. First rush, ran for like 30 yards, and that was pretty much it. That's what we expected that from him. But most importantly, Baker Mayfield looked pretty good. That's what I'm more shocked about. And how that offense is running. Jarvis Landry's getting a lot more deep threats and everything like that. So if Josh Gordon is not playing for the regular season, Jarvis Landry is going to have a target dream. Just have a bunch of targets. So,
and we're back.
Scott.
Baker Mayfield, I was semi-impressed with Baker Mayfield. I thought he looked good. The 2 takeaways I had from him, and Colin Cowherd mentioned it, and I thought the same thing watching him. He looks small out there. Like smaller, like Drew Brees is small, but he don't, you see, he just looks short. Baker looks small out there. So I am slightly concerned with, is he going to have problems with injury going forward because of how slight he is?
We've seen that before. We've seen like RG3 was kind of like slimmed down and he was still big, but he got injured. So Mariota, smaller guy, he gets injured. So it's
Baker he just looks small. Now as far as his arm throwing the ball, the one thing he did that I absolutely loved him doing, especially in game 1, is he would climb the pocket, step back up into the pocket, and make his throw. And he looked quick enough to be able to pick up first downs. He's not going to be no Michael Vick or anything with his speed. But there was a lot of positives to take away. He was 11 for 20, so I would hope his completion percentage jumps up. But he was throwing the ball deep down the field. He was being aggressive. He was making good decisions and everything. So I'm excited. I think Baker, he's going to work in the NFL. I think as long as he stays healthy, he's going to work in the NFL. He's going to be able to play.
Overall, that offense.
But Tyrod Taylor, to me, stole the show. 5 for 5, 99 yards, threw a touchdown. He had total command of that offense.
Tyrod Taylor is a good quarterback. People just don't give him credit for it. But that offense is is exciting, and that defense is already pretty good to begin with. So it's exciting to see what the Browns do.
And David Njoku, 2 touchdowns.
David Njoku.
One from Tyrod, one from Baker.
So it wouldn't matter which quarterback he's going to go, he's going to get touchdowns. But what else, Scott?
Saquon, first carry, 39 yards.
Saquon. I said
Saquon. And
we're pretty. He's pretty much. He's pretty good.
It was like that's exactly what you thought Saquon would do, and it was beautiful.
It was interesting because
he didn't do too much after that, but he also wasn't on the field too much after that.
Saquon breaks one. Derrius Guice breaks one on their first really big run, and Guice gets injured. Saquon didn't. So.
Now after that first run with Saquon, Jonathan Stewart came in, and Jonathan Stewart, I mean, he got quite a bit of run with the ones, with Saquon Barkley. So maybe the workload isn't going to be 100% there like we're expecting. Maybe Jonathan Stewart does be that annoying, get 10 to 12 carries and limits what Saquon can get.
Like the Buffalo Bills backups from LaShawn McCoy, always getting those vulture touchdowns. What was that?
So I do think that's a possibility there for the Giants.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they want to preserve the young running back, but you don't want to work him to the ground. So maybe that's something you want to save him for the playoffs. Maybe so. Yeah. But he's still guaranteed. I'm guaranteed at least 15, 20 touches at least. So I mean, I don't see why you want to get anything less than that unless something dramatic happens. But
and a couple other notes I had: Jarvis Landry is going to be a target monster. You already said that, and it's not going to be like a short intermediate, like a really short target monster where he gets 100 catches and barely gets 1,000 receiving yards. They're using him deep. So if they
especially
if like this,
if Josh Gordon doesn't come back, he's definitely going to have a great season.
Yep. Another note I had, Rashard Higgins, he looked good. They were targeting him. They were using him as the number 2. He got plenty of targets, plenty of catches, and he looked good while doing it. So if he's available, if you play in a deep league like we do and he's available, which I believe he is, that's not a bad pickup. Nick Chubb, from what I saw, he looked kind of slow. He didn't look explosive. He looked a little bit like a plotter. Maybe part of that's the offensive line. But he wasn't very impressive to me, even when, the offensive line wasn't letting him get hit 3 yards in the backfield. He just didn't look too explosive, very quick, or, too elusive. So and he was a guy I really like, Nick Chubb. So eyebrows raised. I want to see how he comes back and does in week 2. But that's all I had as far as notes go on that game.
So what's the next game?
I'm going to go with the Jags and Saints. The Saints, they didn't play Drew Brees. They didn't play too many people. They targeted Traquan Smith quite a bit. He led them in receiving. So he had a pretty good game there, the rookie.
Well, one thing I was wondering upon, we just said this last week on the Flag and the Play collab, we wanted to see how the Jaguars do against the receiver running back. And for me, they did a pretty good job. Obviously, it wasn't Drew Brees throwing the ball.
That's the thing. It wasn't Drew Brees. They had Tom Savage in there.
Tom Savage made some really bad throws, but overall, they really contained Kamara to where it was. And who was the first running back that was after
Terrence
Kamara?
West.
Terrence West?
Yep, it was Terrence West and Shane Vereen worked after Kamara and Ingram.
Okay, that's something to keep in mind.
Maybe Terrence West is that number 2 guy there that is going to fill in.
I'll say for the Jaguars, that's our local team, and they looked pretty good. That first team offense looked pretty
and
solid.
Those jerseys,
I love those jerseys. Those teal,
the helmets, man, they were gorgeous.
They do that every time.
Moncrief Westbrook, they got plenty of work. About 6-7 targets, 6-7 catches or so. That's really all I had. Taysom Hill, is he the heir to Drew Brees? He looked pretty good, but he was the third quarterback coming in.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. It's a quarterback they're using on special teams. Seems kind of odd, but I don't know. Sean Payton's got an affinity for him, so there's that. And then they got Bengals, Bears, Joe Mixon.
Pretty good.
I'm telling you guys, I've been saying it, and we got that bet going on. Joe Mixon, LaShawn McCoy. I think Joe Mixon's going to in for a big, big season this year.
No, I still think Giovanni Bernard's going to have some sort of role in that offense.
Yep. So. I think the Bengals offense as a whole is coming back up. They're coming back to what they used to be. They're not going to be a top 10 offense, but they could be 12, 13, 14, top half, above average. They're going to be much more improved this year as a whole. Receivers, quarterback, running back. So, and then if they get Tyler Eifert in, they could push for a top 10 offense.
Tyler Eifert.
But
would come in a wheelchair. His whole back is made of metal.
Yep. And then the only note that I have for the Bears offense, the only thing that I saw that really stuck out to me was Adam Shaheen. He looks like he's being groomed to be the next Travis Kelce.
Where's the middle line? Where is the Lions helmet, dude?
I'm not talking about the Lions today.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Oh.
So, but Adam Shaheen, he looks like he could be groomed. Probably not this year, but, it took Kelsey a couple years to develop, but Adam Shaheen looks like he's going to be developed into that Travis Kelsey role going forward. They're paying Trey Burton now. They'll probably use Trey Burton in 2018. He wasn't on the field very much. He had 1 catch for 5 yards. But Adam Shaheen, he was separating, getting open, making big catches down.
Probably see a lot more of these starters play on week 2, week 3.
Week 2, week 3, we'll see more.
When they start making cuts down to the, something to keep in mind.
Yep, and then we got the Bills Panthers. Nathan Peterman.
First, can we talk about the fight though?
Fight.
Calvin Benjamin and Cam Newton.
That wasn't even a fight. Cam Newton's being a douchebag, and he comes up to Calvin Benjamin and was like, "Yo, what's up? What's up? What'd you say?" Because of what Calvin Benjamin said about him not being an accurate quarterback, which is all true.
But Calvin Benjamin looks like he's somewhat back. I mean, he played pretty good.
He was a freaking target monster.
Yep.
The whole game. Every quarterback was targeting him. Nathan Peterman came out. He was like 11 for 12 for 100-something yards for a touchdown.
I'm a little bit more hopeful with the LaShawn McCoy prop bet.
Yeah, this is preseason though, guys.
I know.
But
it's
I'm
preseason.
kind of like, man.
Crazy. Whoa, crazy.
But yeah, Calvin Benjamin target hog in this offense. If it continues the way it looked in that game, man, he's gonna get 140, 150 targets, and that has fantasy value in itself.
And plus, he's huge. He's a big guy. He has a body for the work, and he's gonna be a number 1 receiver on that team. Very little. You got Charles Clay and LaShawn McCoy probably be his only 2 people getting targets from him. You got Corey Coleman, but we'll see how Corey Coleman does.
And Panthers were targeting DJ Moore the whole game.
Yeah.
With the starter, second string, third string. I mean, he played a lot in this game. I think they're really trying to just get him some live action reps because he's going to be their number 1, number 2 here in the Panthers offense going into the season. As far as the backfield goes, McCaffrey dominated all the carries with the 1. He's going to be an all-purpose back again. He's going to be really great for fantasy, especially PPR leagues. But Cameron Artis-Payne came in the game before C.J. Anderson. So that's small note. He didn't look too great. C.J. Anderson looked a little bit better, but he came in with the 3s. So that's just a little nugget. We'll see how it plays out going forward. Maybe
it's because he's still getting used to the offense, so we won't know.
Yeah, maybe Cameron Artis-Payne will be that number 2 guy there behind McCaffrey, or the big back to McCaffrey.
We'll see.
Yeah. Anything you want to add?
Nope. I don't.
Okay. I know. I probably watched more of these games than you did.
Yeah, I watched like 4 or 5 games because I had to work.
So Steelers, Eagles, Ajayi, Corey Clement worked in a lot. That looks like it might be a headache there for the Eagles' backfield. Corey Clement.
I know they have a new offensive coordinator, but I still don't see the offensive coordinator going away from that. All the backs they have, they just too many mouths to feed in that backfield.
Yeah, and they still got Darren Sproles. They said they're going to work Darren Sproles, and they got Donnell Pumphrey.
Obviously, Jay Ajayi is probably the most attractive one in terms of they say like early reports he's going to have a workhorse role. So, I still doubt it. I think that offense is built around the passing attack. So,
yeah,
we'll see.
Last note for the Eagles: Dallas Goedert looked good.
Yeah, he looked good.
Zach Ertz, watch out, buddy, because he looked good.
He's not going to be watched out.
Juju had a 71-yard
Zach
touchdown.
Ertz didn't play, and they did a lot of 2 tight end sets, so we'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see. If they're running 2 tight end sets and Goddard's getting some work, it should hurt Zach Ertz. But
Aaron Hernandez, Rob Gronkowski.
What's the guy? Trey Burton. He was there last year. He had 400 yards or so. So we'll see. I just think Zach Ertz with Dallas Goedert being there
makes him better.
Is going to. Well, to me, it takes targets away. So he'll be what he's been, and he's not going to take the next step, the leap up to the Kelsey Gronk level. He'll still stay. He'll still stay slightly behind.
Zach Ertz, I bought your jersey. Don't let me down. Don't let me down.
So that's just a note there. Juju Smith had a 71-yard touchdown catch. Juju's going to be Juju. He's a good player. Mm-hmm. James Conner was the number 2 back. He was exclusively working with the ones with Le'Veon out. Pass catching, rushing. He looked pretty solid. Not Le'Veon Bell. He's not going to be a Le'Veon Bell, but he could be a really solid back for you in the event Le'Veon leaves or gets injured. And then I can't remember the guy's name. His last name was Patterson. It wasn't Cordell Patterson. It was like Deron Patterson there for the Steelers.
I'm actually happy the Patriots have it. It is up there. Never mind. Damn it.
Yeah, he had a great game. So that's just a name to keep an eye on and watch going forward. This is the conversation I think we'll get the most enjoyment out of. Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Peyton Barber, lead back, takes him down, gets a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Ronald Jones came in. He played with Jameis Winston. Fitzpatrick actually started the game, and Jameis acted as the backup. Ronald Jones came in with Jameis Winston. Now, he was working with the twos, so he probably didn't have the starting offensive line out there.
Needless to say, he played like crap, okay?
Yep, he didn't have a good game. He did score a touchdown, but his yards per carry is like 1.4, 1.6.
On the touchdown, though, the one thing I did like was that he went right through that hole, which was explosive like he did in USC. Obviously, it's a big concern that Peyton Barber started, but I still think this is his first NFL game. I want to see what he does at Tennessee, where they project him to get in a bigger role. So maybe he gets the chance to do that first-team offense.
It's a thing to monitor going forward. I've been saying it, and we've been going back and forth with it. I think Peyton Barber will be the Week 1 starter, and I'm not going to put a bet on it or say anything. I just think he's significantly cheaper than Ronald Jones. Therefore, he's the guy I would rather have in Tampa for 2018.
In redraft leagues, I won't even touch him. But in Dynasty, he's just turned 21, too, so he's like the Juju Smith-Schuster of the running backs. Yeah. He gets that extra year. But I definitely want to see what he does next week with the true first-team offense.
Yeah, they'll play probably the first quarter.
Obviously, history has said before that, draft a second-round rookie, they're going to try to start him. So I still think that he's probably going to be the Week 1 starter. But if he doesn't do anything next 3 weeks, Peyton Barber has to start. I agree.
Yep. And then the last note I had, I don't have anything from the Dolphins. There was nothing really there to note. Frank Gore did come in, and he started the game. That was the one thing I noted from the Dolphins. But Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to support Mike Evans without a hitch. It is going to be Evans is going to be the same player with Fitzpatrick as he is with Jameis Winston. So if you have any concerns about Winston's,
this is what's Fitzpatrick going to get. You're going to get the 4 touchdown Fitzpatrick, you're going to get the 4 interception Fitzpatrick.
Well, even if you get the 4 interception Fitzpatrick, he's going to have to keep throwing to catch up. So either way, I really think Mike Evans is going to get supported. His fantasy stock is not going to change.
Mike Evans is coming to mind. He's like a DeAndre Hopkins. No matter which quarterback you have,
unless he has Brock Osweiler.
Unless he has Brock Osweiler. Brock Osweiler is a bring. But even that's true.
He couldn't play with Brock. It was awful.
Yeah, Brock was just bad.
Yeah. And then the Patriots, what I have to know, we have Derrius Guice's knee. We touched on that already. Just a note that we didn't get into. What are you doing? Say you're in Dynasty League. Are you trying to get Derrius Guice?
If I'm a contending team, sure, absolutely. Try to throw.
If I'm not a contending team,
if your contending team has Guice, I mean,
no, I'm asking if you want to acquire Derrius Guice. If anything, if you're not a contending team, you should be more apt to getting Derrius Guice.
Try to trade for Guice. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, he still has so much potential, and history states that when they restructure an ACL, it comes back stronger, especially in today's medicine. So.
And you'll have plenty of time to get healthy for next season.
My only concern is that it's the same knee that he hyperextended in the college, so I just don't know if there's any more damage to them and that to begin with. So hopefully his knee's not deteriorating. But yes, absolutely. I mean, this guy's consensus number 2 back. This guy was the back that to own behind Saquon.
If you can trade a 19 first for him and get
some sort of value
for a year, that's what I would do.
Then watch him explode, then try to trade him back. Get some more value to him. So. Yep. Absolutely, go get Guice. If you're a team that has pretty good running back depth and you have picks to spare, or maybe even throw a player in there that has potential, absolutely go and get Guice. Put on the IR spot. Our league has an IR spot, so put him on the IR spot and watch him get healthy. And when he comes back next year, hopefully he comes back strong like he was supposed to.
Yep, completely agree. I'm all about the Guice. One note I had for the Patriots: Jeremy Hill looked good. I think we might have a Jeremy Hill resurgence here.
No, one thing I was really excited for, I looked at the target share just to see what's going on, and Cordell Patterson, I can't believe it, he was being used. So this might be
Cheers.
This may be the year that Cordell Patterson at least does for at least the first 4 weeks. Okay, we'll see. Yeah.
But now Brady didn't play, so we were working with the backup.
Obviously, I want to see once Brady plays and see how he targets him because Brady's meticulous with his receivers. So, but he had 2 catches, like 38 yards, and had 3 targets. But who was that receiver that had 4 receptions and like 70 yards? That's some receiver I've never heard of. I'm gonna look him up.
Look him up. Another point, another just name I'm throwing out there. Keep it in your ears. You don't have to pick him up or anything. Jacob Hollister. He's a tight end. He's working behind Gronk He had a great preseason last year. He had some catches. He was getting targeted pretty early in this game. I don't believe Gronk was playing. What's his name? Bill Belichick said he's expecting him to have a really great career going forward. So Jacob Hollister, that's a name to look out for.
Devin Lucien had 4 catches for 71 yards on 6 targets. Now, not saying much as his back.
But that could have been in the fourth quarter with Danny Etling.
Yeah, I know, but just seeing all those catches and targets. No, obviously I didn't watch the whole game, so I don't know where he played at, but it could have been one big catch too, for all I know. But just something to keep an eye on. Maybe it is something that you could get value for.
Right. Yep, just keep an eye out for that guy if he continues doing this in the preseason. If he moves up the depth chart, start playing earlier in the games, that's just something to look out for there. The only note I have for Texans-Chiefs is Lamar Miller is a high-end running back too. Lamar Miller is the type of player you could win your between value and everything. You plug him in as your running back too. He really could be the league winner in a redraft.
A lot of fantasy football focus. If you haven't watched, a great show, but they talked about the Texans before the preseason game, and same thing. This Lamar Miller is the back that no one wants to talk about, but has potential to really be that puts you on the next level in terms of winning a championship.
Especially first week of season if Deontay Foreman is placed on the
They also predicted that Foreman, when he finally gets back and healthy, that he will probably take a lot of the work away. So, but at least in the first half of the season, I don't expect Foreman to be back until like week 5, week 6, because they know that Achilles heels take a lot longer than to the heel. So, but Miller is. No one likes to talk about Miller. It's like he's like the Doug Baldwin of running back.
He's the redheaded stepchild of
running backs. It's just ridiculous.
Nobody likes him. But he puts up fantasy points because he's a pass catcher and he breaks big runs. His
best fantasy games last year was when Deshaun Watson was playing, and they complement each other really well. I just think the whole offense in general is going to be really good. The passing game's going to take that next step, and that running game's going to help and everything like that. So I think Lamar Miller is back. He has potential to be an RB1. I think he has a chance to be top 10.
Yeah, high-end RB2, low-end RB1. But you can get him so far later in your draft where if you can get production like that in the 4th, 5th round, that's going to be huge for your team, especially as a number 2 back.
Probably get him later, probably.
Right. So I don't really know exactly where he's going to redraft, but I know he's way further down.
We're going to find out. So we're going to do a redraft league in the end of the week with end of the month with Flag in the Play. So we'll find out.
We'll broadcast that live to y'all. All right, big game here. I'm sure you watched part of it, if not all of it. Cowboys-Niners.
Of course, I watched just the most way on it. So let me lead this off. Okay.
All right, you started off, and then I'll hit you in with what I caught.
All right, so I'm just going on the Niners side first. Jimmy G looked pretty good. He was mobile, running out like Aaron Rodgers-esque, like mobility. He's like throwing this on the dimes. His number 1 receiver wasn't there. Pierre Garçon is still nursing.
Marquise Goodwin was playing.
But
he said it's number 1.
But anyways, for one thing I do want to point out though, that's really alarming. George Kittle did separate his shoulder, which we were already high on to begin with, and then also Matt Breida, who was
his shoulder as well.
Who's the fantasy handcuff, who I thought was going to have a chance to really do something behind McKinnon. Jared McKinnon.
Jared McKinnon.
But Niners look pretty good. The defense, but on the Cowboys side, the one question that I wanted to really find out was wide receiver 1. Who was going to be like the wide receiver 1? Everyone's saying it was going to be Hearns, then a step up. Cole Beasley was reported coming out. But that being said, after seeing that, Michael Gallup, he was on 3 snaps with he was playing all snaps to Prescott and caught a touchdown pass. Perfect route, perfect throw. He has a body like Dez, a little bit faster, better route runner. I'm telling you, Michael Gallup is going to be the wide receiver 1. He may not start week 1, but I'm telling you, at the end of the season, he's going to have wide receiver 1 numbers. I'm telling you right now, mark it. Michael Gallup.
I'm skeptical.
Okay.
I'm skeptical, but he's cheap. He's really cheap. So if you get that, that's great for fans.
One thing to note that Ezekiel didn't play, but Rod Smith looked pretty good.
Yeah, Rod Smith has started in place of Zeke, not Bo Scarborough. Rod Smith did.
But Bo Scarborough looked really good. He looked really good.
Blake Jarwin, first tight end out there. First play they threw it to Blake Jarwin. So it seems like Blake Jarwin's the likely leading candidate right now for the pass catching role among Cowboys tight ends.
Still think Dalton Schultz has some sort of
I only watched the first quarter, so I didn't stick through it. I didn't see it. I didn't get the Bo Scarborough and all that. Gallup, like you said, long touchdown on the opening drive. It was a really solid play all around.
It was a really beautiful route, too.
Right.
He ran right. He did like a little starter and then ran right past him. So,
Well, the thing about Dak is he's been, all the reports have been he can't throw the long ball. He ain't throwing the long ball.
He threw that beautiful long ball right
there.
there.
Perfect there for the touchdown. So,
yeah.
The one play on top of with Jimmy Garoppolo, there was this play where he's standing in the pocket. He's got a rusher coming right at him. He sits there, throws it 20, 25 yards down the field, dead accurate as he's getting hit. He takes the hit, but he also kind of rolls in a way where he doesn't get injured. It was textbook. It really was. And he stared right down the barrel of the pass rusher coming in and took it like a man. McKinnon, he's going to have to make his hay at the passing game because they were not opening holes anywhere. Every run he had, he kept getting hit in the background with it. So that was very concerning there from a rushing aspect with Jerick McKinnon. And then, like you said, Kittle and Breida, they both had shoulder injuries. They were separated shoulders, no structural damage.
But
they're saying that they'll be back for week 1 of the regular season.
But you had a separated shoulder. How does it feel?
Yep, I had a separated shoulder, but I had torn ligaments, pulled muscles. I had a lot of ligament damage.
His football career ended on such a short notice.
But I will say, even with all that structural damage,
it's hard to hear me.
Within 2 weeks, I felt like I had complete range of motion and I could play. It just, it wasn't healed all the way. So if I took another hit, I could damage it more. So if they don't have structural damage, then week 1 regular season with no structural damage, I think they'll be able to play through it, and maybe by week 4, if they don't take a significant hit to that shoulder, they will be set, good to go for the rest of the season.
All right. We got a little mic difficulties, it looked like. Can you hear either in there? Can anyone else hear us?
We'll proceed because we're 30 minutes in. They're just not saying it. I don't know. Right. Colts, Seahawks. Marlon Mack started the game for the Colts. He ended up leaving with a hamstring.
Oh, let's talk about the Colts.
He ended up leaving with a hamstring injury. Marlon Mack looked pretty solid running with the ones. Turbin also, he was the number 2 back in the game, working with the ones. To me, Turbin looked like the best back there.
I've said this before.
From what I saw.
Said this way before the draft. I said, watch out for Jordan Wilkins, okay? The C's are parting ways for the Jordan Wilkins to be the starter. Marlon Mack injures his hamstring.
Yep.
All right? He's going to be, and we all know how hamstrings take. Robert Turbin has an ankle injury and he's suspended, okay? Josh Ferguson, Naheem Hines did not look good.
He fumbled.
All right? So Jordan Wilkins, I'm telling you right now, is going to be the week 1 starter, especially if Mack is injured. If Mack is injured, I'm seeing Wilkins going to take it off. I'm telling you guys right now. Like
you said, it really is. It's opening its way. If Marlon Mack's injury is worse than we think it is. Hines is fumbling out there. Wilkins didn't get playing time until very late in the 4th quarter, but if he looked good, going forward, he could start playing earlier, especially with the running backs ahead of him not looking very well and getting injured or being suspended.
I don't see Turbin playing a lot in the next couple games because he is suspended. So they're probably going to give that opportunity to someone else and just to really see how they can do.
And then Deion Kane, he's a rookie wide receiver, getting a lot of hype, getting talked about a lot, especially working in the red zone. He tore his ACL, so he's done for the season. If you have him,
great potential.
Hold on to him, throw him on your IR, and let it play out. But most importantly, Andrew Luck is back. Andrew Luck's on the football field. Andrew Luck, he's
looks like his range of motion's back.
Yeah, everything's there. He looks almost like the same player. I feel like he had a little bit less zip on the ball, but I think that could be something.
And more importantly, that offensive line was pretty solid too. It was really protecting him.
Yeah.
So,
and then only thing I have for the Seahawks, Chris Carson started the game. Yeah. Rashad Penny did get some runs with the one.
Didn't look that good though.
Didn't look great. So Carson, he's probably your week 1 starter. for the Seahawks offense. Jets. I got the Jets.
Talk about the Jets. Sam Darnold, USC Jets.
Yeah, who did the Jets play?
The Jets played, who did they play?
I don't remember. Anyways,
doesn't matter.
Bilal Powell started the game. He got all the run with the ones. Crowell came in on the second drive
and got a touchdown
with Teddy Bridgewater. He lined up at wide receiver, ran across the field, caught it, and then rammed his way into the end zone. If Crowell's going to be used as a receiver like that, that's insanely good for his fantasy outlook. I'm excited about Isaiah Crowell. I've been talking about Isaiah Crowell for a couple of years when he was back with the Browns. I think the talent is there. The Browns just suck and didn't know how to use him, and it doesn't look like the Browns know how to use their current running backs either. So, if as long as Crowell can get worked in, if he's stuck behind Powell and it's a split, it could be a headache. But if Crowell could ever take over that backfield, maybe it takes a Powell injury. Crowell could be quite interesting for as far as producing on what it costs to get him. Sam Darnold. Go on about Sam Darnold. That's your guy.
Dad, if you hear any, USC might finally have a good quarterback in the NFL. It may actually happen. We run through these ups and downs of these USC quarterbacks in the NFL, and finally, Sam Darnold might do something, get rid of the Carson Palmer stigma in our heads. But Sam Darnold looked really good. He was climbing the pocket. He was very, very good pocket presence. He was running. He was very mobile, and he was slinging and looking off defenders and everything you want to see in a starting quarterback, and he was really, really killing it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I loved how he was very decisive with where he was going with the ball and when he was going to throw the ball. Yeah. He was looking around. He was going through his progression. He'd look off defenders, check his progression, make his throw, and, all of his balls were accurate. He had a live arm, so, the balls are coming in at a good pace. I really like what I saw from Darnold. I've been hearing, his footwork wasn't there. I don't care about the footwork. I'm not an expert. I'm not going to look at footwork. Does the ball show up on time accurately? Are you making good decisions? Darnold was doing all of that. If he wants to, he can work on the footwork, whatever. A lot of the mental stuff was there. And
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this. Teddy Bridgewater looked good, too. You think Teddy Bridgewater's going to get traded? What do you think what's going to happen there? I think McCown.
If they could trade Teddy, they'll trade Teddy. I don't know if they're going to be able to. I really don't.
Teddy looked good. He looked like he was back to same old Teddy.
Yep. But Teddy was never a world beater. He just looked like a solid, good quarterback.
Anyways, back to the Jets. That's one thing I wanted to mention. As a deep sleeper, he might not even make the team, but he did play pretty good. He made some bonehead plays, but then he redeemed a touchdown. They were targeting him a lot. Charles Johnson was targeted a lot, especially with Sam Darnold.
Oh, he's targeted even early in the game.
He had that stint. He had that pretty good stint with the Vikings back in the day. So this guy right here, I think has a chance to really kind of make on the team and really crowded receiving core. So that's something to keep an eye on. Maybe you can get a.
Oh, he's got elite size. He's like 6'4", 220 pounds. He can run. So he has all the physical stuff there. If he could put it all together, he could be one of them really cheap. Surprise
probably get him in the last round instead of drafting a kicker. Just as we said last week in Flag on the Play, that we don't draft kicker. Just pick him up on the free agency and use an extra roster spot for a running back or a receiver. That's potential. So
I probably wouldn't pick up Charles Johnson, but I would monitor him. First couple weeks of the season, is he playing? Week 3 of the preseason, is he dominating the targets? That's the type of stuff I would look for. And then the last game I have that I went through and I watched was the Broncos-Vikings last night. From the Broncos side, Jake Butt was the starting tight end, came in. He was the number 1 tight end for the offense. I don't believe he didn't get any targets. The whole offense stunk. Devontae Booker was the starting running back. The number 1s went out for the entire first drive. It was Devontae Booker. They didn't do anything 3 and out. On the second drive, Royce Freeman came in with the rest of the ones. They were all playing.
Dad, wake her up.
They went.
Sorry.
They went 3 and out again. So the Broncos offense, they stink. Paxton Lynch stinks. He's done. I'm gonna put my flag in it right now. Paxton Lynch, he's done as a Bronco after this preseason. Chad Kelly will take over the number 2 quarterback.
Chad Kelly will start one game at least. Watch. Somehow. So it's going to happen. Casey Hammond's going to get injured and Chad Kelly's going to start. Watch.
Yeah. Paxton Lynch, he's just not good. This is the 3rd year. He's not showing that he's getting any better. He's done. He's done. I wish the Cowboys would have gave up that extra third-round pick and got him. I really do.
Anyways, let's talk about the Vikings.
Yep. Going to the Vikings, I know you're going to get a little
giddy.
Stiffy from this.
A little giddy. That offense looks pretty good. Kirk Cousins was solid. It was like 4 for 5, practically perfect. All the three of the targets, him and Stephon Diggs might be the next QB receiver duo that you want to really look out for. And that offense is different. They're doing a lot of RPOs. So I think when Dalvin Cook is healthy and he's finally back to where he was, that offense, I think, Kirk Cousins will be a stud, I think, in my opinion. That offense in general is going to be really good. I know it's first week of preseason, and I don't want to go all overboard, but I think that offense is going to be really good.
Latavius Murray looked good, too. Yeah. They held Dalvin Cook out. He didn't play. Latavius Murray broke off several big runs. He looked like a solid running back. That could be a thorn in Dalvin Cook's side going forward, too.
That's a lot of things I want to mention. So, Latavius Murray had 600-something yards, had 6 touchdowns and everything. It was pretty decent. You think that
split and work with McKinnon?
Yeah, it seems hurts Dalvin Cook. Well, we expect Dalvin Cook to get this workhorse back, but you got this huge back behind him it was pretty decent to begin with, and I think that kind of hurts the value of Dalvin Cook a little bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same thing, but at the same time, if Dalvin Cook is just on next level elite Alvin Kamara,
I know, but a lot of people are going I understand Dalvin Cook. I think he's going to do good, really, really well. But he had 4 games, had 111 yards, something like that, average. That's such a small sample size, and then he's coming off an injury that takes a little bit longer to heal. That a lot of people get their explosives back, but he might not. So I just think that's something you need to watch for Dalvin Cook and Latavius Murray. If Dalvin Cook doesn't come back in week 2 or 3 and play, then that's something you got to definitely worry about.
Yeah, I think they're just holding them out as a precaution. A lot of stars got held out. Von Miller got held out with the Broncos. Devonta Freeman got held out for the Falcons. A lot of players were just being held out for precautionary reasons. But I don't think we'll have an issue with Dalvin Cook. I'm sure we'll see him week 2 or week 3 of the preseason. But yeah, Latavius Murray I think could be just that annoying touchdown vulture. Just getting extra work that will take away from the volume that Dalvin Cook will get. So there is that. Just a point. Unfortunately, Kirk Cousins looked really good. Very unfortunately. But
why is that, Scott?
He looked good. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
I'm a little discouraged, disappointed in the way the Broncos looked. It was just an awful game. I don't know if we ever stopped the Vikings offense. They scored 42 points in the preseason game.
But they didn't have Von Miller, so we'll see. But Vikings look good. Vikings look really, really good.
Yeah, they look solid. The defense is good. The offense looked good. It's definitely a Super Bowl contending team. They were last year. They're definitely there again this year. Anything you want to know? Anything else you want to add?
I do want to talk about the helmets on up here, but I want to talk about the Detroit Lions. Kerryon Johnson got a lot of work. 4 carries, 30-something yards, 4 catches for 30 yards. That might be the running back that might take over. Might be the next Kamara-like explosion. They always like to throw the ball, so Stafford loves to throw the ball to his back. So Kerryon Johnson is killing it. Other than that, it's really exciting first week. Anything you want to touch on?
I'm just trying to see if Akil's listening right now. I don't believe Akil is listening, so this is good.
He doesn't check his teams. I try to make a trade for him. I go, what value do you think Dez is at with one of your players? He goes, Jamal Williams, for sure. I'm like, okay, let's do it. He goes, I'm going to read up on him. Never mind. You don't read up on your team? That's like a fantasy rule 1. You don't know anything about your team. You have to read up on them?
That's poor trade etiquette.
Dude, whatever. It's stupid. Read up on your team, okay? If you have a dynasty team and it's 30 players long, I don't expect you to know every single player, but at least know enough.
Oh, I know every single player.
Okay? Yeah,
There's a reason every single player's on my roster, and I know about it.
Okay? But don't be that guy to be like, oh, yes, I agreed to, on text message, let's do this trade, and then, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to back out because I read on him, I like him now. What changed in the 3 minutes? The 3 minutes when you text that message? That grinds my gears.
Yep.
That grinds my gears.
That's a pretty solid even trade, too. Dez for Jamal Williams, I think bad.
Yeah, I liked it. And see, especially if Dez signs with Browns, we'll see how that goes next week. But, If you agree to text messages, then you just don't.
Speaking of trades, I made a trade on Friday night. Did you see it?
No, I saw your trades that you tried to send me, but...
I traded away Kareem Hunt.
Oh, sweet. Cool.
Yep, I traded away Kareem Hunt.
To Matthew?
To Matt Johnson. I got Devonta Freeman and 2 first-round picks. I didn't want to trade Kareem Hunt. Actually, what happened was I hit him up. I'm trying to get Cortland Sutton, Broncos fan of me. So I offered him Kareem Hunt for Guice, torn ACL, and Sutton, thinking, okay, he'll go for that one. And he tells me he doesn't want to trade Sutton. And he doesn't want to trade Guice. But Freeman's available. So I told him, I like Freeman and Sutton. He said, nope. Freeman is something else on my roster. I said, well, I'm only in it for Sutton, so I don't want it. He comes at me. He goes, I'll give you Freeman and a first, which is a good value. I probably should have took it. I told him, I said, no, I'm only trying to get Sutton. I'm going to hold on to Kareem Hunt. I'm okay. And then he offers me 2 firsts. I'm like, you really think that's the best move of your team? Because I'm going to take it.
Oh, my gosh.
I did. So I got a comparable player. I gave up 3 years. Devonta Freeman 26, Kareem Hunt 23. I gave up 3 years. We both said it on this podcast. I'm expecting regression from Kareem Hunt.
Of course.
Just because different offense, different quarterback. They're adding all these extra weapons.
I try to trade with someone, and then they agree, then they back out, and you try to trade with someone, and they give you they overpay for the pick. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm with Devonta Freeman now. I'm trying to make trades. That's why I was checking to see if Akil's on, because I'm trying to offer Devonta Freeman for Kerryon Johnson and see if I can get a little bit more worked in just because of...
Don't do it. Kerryon Johnson looks good. Don't do it, Akil. No. I tried. I don't know, is any running backs? Like, no more young running backs.
Yeah, that's what he told me. He goes, I'm not trading any
of my 4 rookie running backs.
Yep.
It's insane. Like, you're not going to start all of them. Just sell them and sell high.
Yeah, he told me he wasn't going to trade him. And really, I thought I could trade Devonta Freeman for more. Just going out there trying to see if I could trade down a little bit at running back. So I'm running back 5. So trying to trade down just a little bit at running back and pick up, more draft capital, another something interesting. But I'm not getting the... nobody loves Devonta Freeman anymore. They all fallen out of love.
I like Devonta Freeman, but I think you're asking way too much.
I like Devonta Freeman. Freeman.
No.
But you know what? He's putting up elite numbers. He's been putting up elite numbers for 3 or 4 years now.
What was the trade? Yeah, but I think when you tried to send me a trade, I think I was paying too much for him. I think
that was Derrick Henry. I offered Devonta Freeman, Derrick Henry in a second. He said no.
And your trade calculator says Derrick Henry's a 2 first-round pick guy, and every time I go in the trade calculator, I show the trade calculator in your face. Like
you just sent me no trade calculator.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just basing because when I did this before, it's like, oh, trade calculator says.
If anything, I thought I was taking a loss on that one a little bit.
No,
because
I love Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry's a great season. I don't think him and Dan Lewis is going to be that big of a deal. They always need 2 running backs to begin with. I think Derrick Henry is going to be the workhorse. I think.
You want to do a Devonta Freeman, Derrick Henry board bet?
No. Because I know he's going to get more catches, and that's going to kill it.
I know, that's the whole point, is Devonta Freeman's in for 70 to 80 catches.
Well, it doesn't matter. I think Derrick Henry's going to be a great season. I think he's going to be great. So, I think you're personally asking a little bit too much for him, but we'll see if someone gets
those are the types I love making those types of trades where I can trade from a running back perceived at a higher value to a running back perceived at a lower value, although I value them very similarly, close to the same, and get a bunch of draft capital or players I really like, young players I really like with high ceilings on top of it. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's burned me a couple times. It's worked out for me. In 2016, I traded DeAndre Hopkins. I got Amari Cooper, which Cooper outscored Hopkins that year because of Brock Osweiler. But I also got Tevin Coleman and a second-round pick. And then last year, I reacquired DeAndre Hopkins. Trade was too good to pass up. And then I traded him to you for Brandon Cooks. So I saw a similar player. Brandon Cooks had Tom Brady throwing him the ball and got a second-round pick. So there's just things I love to do is
that kind of backfired.
That's the one that backfired at me. That's what I was referencing earlier. I would still make it again. I mean, with that second-round pick, I was able to acquire.
Especially with the quarterback situation they had in Houston. Yeah, we were pretty.
I basically got Kareem Hunt with that second-round pick. So it came to Brandon Cooks and Kareem Hunt or DeAndre Hopkins.
At that time, there was when Tony Romo got released, and they were supposed to get released, and he was supposed to go to Houston, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
No one expected Deshaun Watson to come there and be what Deshaun Watson was.
Right.
And
yep. I was unsure of the quarterback situation in Houston. Brock Osweiler was still on the roster at that time, I believe. Yeah, he was still on the roster at that time. It was a really bad season for Hopkins. So I just went with a certainty at quarterback. I figured Brandon Cooks and Drew Brees is great. New England just gave a first-round pick for him. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And he had a solid season. A little disappointing, but it was a solid season. I'm not too upset about that. And like I said, I got Kareem Hunt in the deal too. So I didn't know at the time, but that's what it turned into be. So I'm happy with it. But those are just the type of trade that I like to just express to everybody. Those are the ones I'd love to make. Probably my favorite type of trade to make.
Always trade for people that you think you do well on, do high on. It's if you have a gut, trust your gut. Have a gut feeling, go for it.
Have your own rank. Don't look at anybody else's rankings. Have the own way you view things.
Yes.
And if the trade you get is in line with the way you feel about it, make it.
That's how I was.
Because you could be right. Everybody that says so-called experts, they're not experts. They're just like me and you.
Educated guess.
That's all it is.
Just like Jordan Wilkins. He might not do anything, but when I first saw him out of college in Ole Miss, I liked his size. I liked his athleticism. I'm like, well, this guy's not going to go like early in drafts. I think this guy. I got him in the 6th round, the very last round of my my rookie draft, and he may start. And if he blows up, I'm going to trade him for probably a 1st or 2nd round pick.
Yeah. And it's your team. It ain't my team. Yeah. It ain't Matthew Berry's team. It ain't Matthew Phillips' team. It's your team. So build a team the way you want to build it. And if you want to listen to us,
well, it's funny how he says that now.
To get ideas.
How he says this now. This guy always likes to rag on people.
Oh yeah, because there's certain philosophies that I'd be taking because I want to build this team as fast as I can, even crappy teams. One of the things I really want to do is take the worst roster ever and see what I could do with it. Because I bet you I could turn it around faster than anybody I know.
Probably could.
So,
but anyways, anything you want to talk about? Anything else?
That's all the games. One more thing here. Eric Decker.
Oh, yeah.
Eric Decker to the New England Patriots. We didn't get to that one last week.
We mentioned it on the collab. We mentioned a little bit. I think it's going to do.
Yeah, but we didn't really dive into it from a fantasy
Let's dive
thing.
into it. Absolutely.
Let's dive into it. Eric Decker could be wide receiver 2, probably wide receiver 3 in your fantasy, wide receiver 2 on the Patriots. Really hurts this Cordell Patterson thing I got going on.
Until Julian Edelman comes
I
back.
think it could be wide receiver 2 after Edelman.
You think Edelman's going to be the one, or you think he's going to
be Edelman's going to be the number 1 receiver in that offense.
Okay.
Yeah. Just, he's got that connection with Brady. He's going to score the most,
Plus, he's a big-bodied receiver, and that's like one thing that, he's big.
Decker?
Yeah, he's big.
So, I think it could be 700 yards, 800 yards, and 8 touchdowns with the Patriots. That's a really good season for somebody like Eric Decker, who's sitting on a waiver wire that likely got picked up for free. So that's good news for Eric Decker. It should be good news for Tom Brady too, because it's just another weapon, another guy to get the ball to. The one downside I will say is Eric Decker's wearing 81. Aaron Hernandez's number. So I don't know. Maybe he'll go on a killing spree in Boston.
Wow. So, I'm surprised they didn't retire that number. Just be like, no, this is bad image, bad publicity.
Hey, Randy Moss also wore that number, so there's some good juju.
Oh, okay. He might be Randy Moss, right? Anyways, anything else you want to say to the viewers, Scott? Before
Sony Michel's knee injury. I still think the biggest.
I called it.
Yeah, I still think the biggest beneficiary there is Rex Burkhead. We touched on that a little bit.
Burkhead.
Jeremy Hill had a really good preseason. I mentioned it earlier. He looked good. He's catching the ball. He's running the ball. He looked like the rookie Jeremy Hill. It is preseason. We'll see. But definitely, I think he passed Mike Gillislee in the depth chart, and now he's going to be pushing with Rex Burkhead going forward.
I think Rex Burkhead is going to be the guy. Rex Burkhead is going to be the underrated guy that you can probably pick up.
Hey,
pretty late in drafts.
Burkhead and Jeremy Hill played on the same team in Cincinnati.
Look at that. That's crazy.
Burkhead was always behind Jeremy Hill.
Crazy. Now Jeremy Hill is behind. Remember when Jeremy Hill was like the guy? He was like the stud.
Yeah.
And we talk about like how running backs like hit the plateau. Like really in fantasy football, they
fluctuate so much. They really do. That's why if you could trade, if running backs peak, like I love Kareem Hunt. I'm a big Kareem Hunt fan. I feel like he's peaked. His value can only go down. It's never going to go up from where it currently is. So once you get a running back like that that's peaked, and you can trade off to a running back similarly who you feel like has more longevity at the position, can stay up there and get stuff on top of it. It's a great thing to do, especially at the running back position.
The running back position is one of the hardest positions to fill in fantasy football. But I feel like I wanted to say something else. I forgot.
Was it about the Cowboys or Kirk Cousins?
No, I love Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, you're my guy. You're my guy. And your son's pretty adorable, too. Okay? Cooper. A cool name, cool. Cooper. I love Cooper. Cooper Rush. No, that's a good name, too. Cooper Rush. Anyways. Oh.
College for Cooper Rush.
What?
College for
Don't
Cooper
know.
Rush. Central Michigan.
All right. Anyways, guys. That's pretty much it. We're going to wrap it up. But I do want to point out that, as I said, we're on Spotify. We're on iTunes. We got approved for Google Play. We're just waiting for approval for them to put it up. We're closer to the season now. So what the plan is, obviously we got the live draft show we're going to do with Flagging the Play the last Sunday of August. I'm probably going to set up the league today and start getting people in. It'll be a 12-team redraft league. We're going to broadcast it live. Scott and I are going to do in-depth analysis of why we picked that player, what we were thinking about, etc. Point out the flaws of Bud and Anthony's draft logic.
And we'll let Bud and Anthony come in and explain themselves.
Yeah, but
don't expect an in-depth analysis for why they pick a player.
Yeah, they're going to be like, I like this
also,
number.
Also, expect a lot of Jaguars taking with them.
Yeah, no. Blake Bortles going first over.
Blake Bortles going first round. Leonard Fournette going first round. They're going to be all over Keelan Cole, D.D. Westbrook, DJ Chark.
If they could draft Tyven Bryan as a player, they probably would.
Over under 8th round for the Jags defense.
I think it's probably going to go like 6, probably. It's going to go under. But anyways, but closer to the season. So what we're planning on doing is we're going to do Sunday shows at 9 o'clock, starting week 1, the first Sunday. We're going to do a big board of the players we like, the rankings for it, for just fantasy. We'll talk about dynasty.
Kind of go over the games.
The games of the matchups we like. Talk about some flex players we like.
You want to do a pick 'em while we're doing that?
We can do a pick 'em too. That'll be great. Do a pick 'em, and Scott and I will keep track of. That'll be something we can do. We do a pick 'em. We keep track of the win-loss total. Whoever has the most wins, get a free jersey from another guy.
There you go.
Pound it.
Another board bet.
No, either one of us is going to owe a lot of jerseys to the other person, or we're just going to get
split.
We're going to split.
I think we'll have a little split.
We're going to go through the rankings. Then on that Monday, we're going to do like a fantasy recap, kind of go over the Monday night preview and a little bit like that. But so keep tuning in that. Sunday's at 9. Then Monday we'll probably do like 6:30 show, right before the Monday night football game, maybe 7, depending on what time.
My vote is like 8:30 during the game.
During the game? Okay, we'll play it by ear.
We'll see what happens.
I got the studio ready. I got my rooms getting ready, so that's gonna be nice. So stay tuned for that.
It's a different venue for Monday night.
Yeah, different venue. It's gonna be nice. But other than that, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button. You want to say something?
Yeah, we got something to add. Marshawn Lynch. Did you see his
good.
run?
Yeah.
He was
good.
fast.
Yeah.
He outran the defensive back man. It got called back for holding, but I don't know, dude. Marshawn Lynch is on something where he's
Didn't I say that before?
Now.
Didn't I say my bold prediction was Marshawn Lynch was going to be because John Gruden, he liked every year, except for 1 year, he coached. He had a 1,000-yard rusher. Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, he never looked quick to me. I mean, he did in Buffalo and he did come out of college, but his whole time in Seattle, he never really looked quick. He looked pretty fast on that one particular run there.
Who was he? And he killed. He was breaking away. I mean, it's nice.
I believe it was Glover Quinn chasing him down, and he was gone.
Yeah,
it was.
I'm telling you, Marshawn Lynch
something different.
Can have 1,000 yards rushing. I'm just telling you right now.
So,
but anyways,
he's cheap.
Very
cheap in Dynasty, very cheap in redraft.
Anyways, as I said, don't forget to press that follow button. Share that video for me. If you're on Spotify, follow us. If you're on iTunes, follow us. On Podbean, follow us. Just follow us everywhere. Just spread the love. Other than that, Scott, anything you want to say? Before we say goodbye?
Nope. Just go ahead.
Not ripping this up. This is like my awesome girlfriend got me this. It's an Abraham Lincoln, like my favorite president, and it has all his awesome quotes in it. And I keep all my draft notes in here, my podcast notes. So I'm not ripping anything off. So, Well, wait, look at his disgusting cup.
Nah, don't do that.
Okay? It's disgusting.
There's a reason I ain't drinking out of this.
It's purple. It's purple.
Yes.
Disgusting.
It's
nasty. Clean the cup.
Clean
the cup. See you guys. Bye. Bye. Clean the cup, man. Disgusting.